How to live life to the fullest with a chronic disease, or if you're taking care of someone who has a chronic disease. I'm Dr. Freda Lewis-Hall, Chief Medical Officer of Pfizer. I'm here today with Laila Ali, championship boxer, TV personality, wife, mother, and daughter. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
We know that you've done work around a number of chronic diseases in your life. Heart disease, kidney disease. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved with those and kind of what lessons you've learned from that involvement?
When I became an athlete, I started learning about taking care of myself because I wanted to be the best that I could be in, what I needed to do, what foods I put in my body, how I needed to train because I wanted to be the best. Now that I'm retired, and I'm not fighting anymore, I still want to be healthy. So I started doing a lot of research and just educating myself. I started learning about a lot of the problems that we have here in the United States with heart disease and obesity, especially in the African American community. And I'm like, well, why in my community? And it comes down to a lot of times the way we eat. So it's just a lot of times people just aren't aware because they don't realize they can take their health into their own hands, and they're not aware that they know they might be gaining weight, but they don't realize that the foods they're eating and the way they're cooking the foods they're eating are killing them, and the fact that they're not getting enough exercise. And, unfortunately, I learned that people want to wait until they're already sick and they're living a poor quality of life because they're sick. So that's what inspired me to get involved in the first place.
And chronic diseases are rampant in society today, for sure. And the American public is certainly looking at about a rate of 50% of chronic illnesses for people over the age of 50. That's staggering. But you also have a chronic disease that's closer to home. Your father diagnosed in 1984 with Parkinson's disease. Can you talk a little bit about how you view your experiences and your family experiences in working with your father with this chronic illness?
Yes, and with Parkinson's, I remember when, he was boxing and he had some effects, slurred speech and all that, but I think he would have had that even if he didn't have Parkinson's. And then there's been speculation on, did it come from boxing, did it not? I don't really get too involved in that. Just let me know when you get the answer. They're trying to do the research. But I've seen it progress. And, my father obviously was this independent, strong, brash man. And, he seems to appear to get a little weaker and weaker and not being able to be in control, of his speech or his motor skills, basically. And it's hard to watch. I think what makes me really sad is how other people respond. A lot of times it brings them to tears when they see him because they feel bad for him. But he is still very proud. He still gets around. He doesn't hide because he likes to show, look, even a man great like me, this can happen to. So he's still, even through his sickness, trying to teach people. But for family members, it's hard. It's hard to watch, definitely.
And caregiving is a real challenge for most of us. Either we've been caregivers or are going to be caregivers at some point in our lives. Can you talk about what is hard about it? What is the kind of toll that it's taken on you and your family?
I'm not there with my father day to day. Obviously, he's blessed to be able to have a good team and staff around him, and his wife takes really good care of him. But we still come around and we visit, and all the kids are there, and it's a family effort. It's like, sometimes my dad, because when he eats, he has to wear a bib, and so we're there putting that on him. Or we go out to a restaurant, you're packing his bag to make sure we have everything we need. Like, it's hard because you love somebody, and I know that his mind is there, but his motor skills aren't. So I always feel bad. I feel like he's trapped inside of his body. So you kind of feel bad and you wish you could do more, but you can't. It's a part of life. So I think the best thing we could do is make him as comfortable as possible and take care of him and take care of ourselves so that hopefully we won't have to be someone being taken care of, at least until you get much older.
And you mentioned taking care of ourselves. The statistics are actually quite striking around caregivers and the higher risks that care providers have for cardiovascular disease and cancers and arthritis and other chronic illnesses themselves. Do you feel that as a part of the caregiving team for your father that you are aware and that others are aware? How do you all kind of keep each other healthy and on top of things?
I think somebody who probably has a whole lot of responsibility and is doing it all the time could definitely fall into that category of someone who's not taking care of themselves, because you take on everyone else's burden, and we do soak up other people's energy. And that's just how it is. And, people don't realize how much of an effect that can have on you. I think that for me and my family, we definitely inspire each other. When you see somebody slipping, you need to tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, and hope they do the same for you.